It operates in more than 50 different countries. To look at it in monetary terms, firms within this industry pull in about $100 billion a year in annual revenue.
In modern-day Iraq, the U.S. Army finds itself overtasked, and they have to resort to a wide variety of outside suppliers for everything from trucking to food to security.
And you have your private military companies. The private military companies generally work for governments, and they are brought in to change the strategic situation.
The very first one of these, the most notable one, was Executive Outcomes. Now, many of the companies on the ground in Iraq that are providing these tactical roles fall within that domain. Basically, any company that has guns for hire. Sometimes these companies call themselves private security companies, but we're really not talking about security guards at the local mall. We're talking about companies that are hired to provide tactical military capability in the middle of a combat zone.
George Bush has created the ultimate entrepreneurial / Wild West scenario in Iraq. I mean, if you've got a gun and you're for hire, there's work for it.
One of the oldest professions in human history is that of mercenary. When we look at the recorded history of war, the Battle of Kadesh, which was back before 1200 BC, had mercenaries fighting in it. So the history of mercenaries is actually far more prevalent than we really like to admit when we think about warfare.
Broadcasting from an undisclosed location, Freedom Radio on 107.7 FM, Baghdad.
For those of you who don't already know, I quit the job at the law firm and I'm now working for a private security company in Iraq. I'm on a 6 on, 3 off rotation, 6 weeks on, 3 weeks off. The contract is huge, 200 men doing close protection tasks, or PSD as the Americans call it. There are swarms of other firms of private contractors all over the place, some complete cowboy outfits. But this one is fairly sharp, so I'm not too worried about getting killed. I'm currently tasked at the Baghdad office working out of a villa in the Green Zone, where the CPA, that's the Coalition Provisional Authority, has set up shop. The city on the whole is in ruins, but it doesn't seem all that dangerous right now.
Allahu Akbar!
George Bush has created the ultimate Wild West scenario in Iraq. If you've got a gun and you're for hire, there's work for you.
A mercenary is somebody who goes and fights and gets paid for it.
Private military firms are the corporate evolution of the age-old mercenary trade.
If someone wants to go and overthrow a despot government, they're going to be hard pushed to get the right type of guys, because most of those guys are actually working in Iraq.
The CPA specifically stated that contractors don't fall under Iraqi law.
If you look at it from the Iraqi point of view, that means that contractors can operate with impunity.
I would not work for a criminal entity, and obviously that it's my call whether that entity is criminal or not.
You tell people, you yell inch it, back. If they don't see the gun,
you may have to make contact with that vehicle to let it know that it needs to move out of the way.
If they don't stop, then the second burst goes into the engine. If they continue to come, then the third one goes into the driver.
Did you hit his car or just shoot in front of him?
I shot in front of him. It may have fucking ricocheted and hit his car, but
I do nothing different than does anybody when they go work for IBM or any other corporation in the world. Is that corporation doing a service or a disservice to society? And if you believe they're doing a disservice and you still work for them, what does that make you?